Welcome back to the Halloween Spooktacular. Today I'm going to be talking about another franchise movie. I've reviewed the original one in the past, and I reviewed the second one last year. Now it's time to review A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. For many, this is considered the best of the franchise. For me, I still consider the original one to be the best, and that's okay. I completely understand why everyone would think that this is better than the original one. A more introduction to lore in this movie. There's better kills in this movie. Freddy is more fun. He's more quippy. This is the one where I think people will have the most entertainment value in terms of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. But this just happens to be the original one, my favorite slasher movie of all time, the best slasher movie of all time, in my opinion, and I don't think that's ever going to change. As I've stated before, there's a difference between best and favorite. For instance, I can acknowledge Iron Man is the best Iron Man movie, but Iron Man 3 will always be my favorite because it's the most entertaining. It's the one that I get the most fun value out of. And that might be some controversy right there, saying Iron Man 3 is more fun than Iron Man. But that's exactly what I mean. I think that there's a difference. In terms of Nightmare on Elm Street, though, the first one is my favorite. The first one's the best, in my opinion. But I'm not going to discount anybody who says that this one is their favorite. I really like a lot of the stuff that they do here. I love that Nancy Thompson comes back and it's Heather Langenkamp. And she's really the pro here because there are people at this psychiatric hospital that are dreaming of Freddy Krueger. And they're like, what the hell is going on? So you got to bring in the experts, right? It's like bringing in Sam or Dean Winchester or Ed and Lorraine Warren. There you go. You have Nancy Thompson as the expert here. And Heather Langenkamp is great in this movie. And I love that they actually went the extra mile, too, to bring John Saxon, who played her father back in the original. And with him, you would think that it would be just a one-scene cameo or something. No, he's actually integral to the plot. There's a point in this movie where Dr. Gordon and Nancy actually need his help because they need to find where Freddy is buried and where his bones are. And you could tell that this man is depressed. He's just like, Freddy's not real. You're coming to me with this. Are you here to forgive me? We had a falling out, huh? Your mother's dead. The man has been through some shit. So I like that there's that idea of two family members that have grown apart that have to reconnect and in a way reconcile in order to accomplish a goal that has to be completed. And in this case, they got to get rid of Freddy Krueger again, who is awesome in this movie. I like quippy Freddy. I love original Freddy, though. That's the thing. I love scary Freddy, but I also love quippy Freddy. One of my favorite kill in the entire franchise is in this movie when Jennifer's watching TV and he just pops out of that TV and he's like, you wanted to be a TV star. Well, here's your chance, Jennifer. Welcome to the prime time, bitch. He just kills her and you see her body hanging from the TV. It's a really good kill.
This is it, Jennifer. Your big breaking TV. Welcome to prime time, bitch.
There's also another really good kill in this where he takes the veins of another patient at the hospital and uses those veins as like a puppet. So he's moving him like a puppet and he makes him commit suicide by throwing him off the balcony of a building. There's some really great kills in here. One of the most disgusting scenes in the movie, I think, that is really repulsive and is actually kind of scary is when Kristen is dealing with Freddy in the dream world and he becomes that snake and he's like got like his mouth on like half her body. He's trying to suck her in and then Nancy comes into the dream. There's really cool stuff like that. There's a lot of great expansion of lore. For instance, Freddy Krueger is a bastard child born from Amanda Krueger. There's this nun at the psychiatric hospital that you later find out in one of the final scenes of the movie is actually the mother of Freddy Krueger. I like that all these kids have a connection to Freddy because they are the last of the Elm Street kids. There's also the introduction of the drug Hypnosil that comes back in Freddy vs. Jason, and I totally forgot about that the last time I watched Freddy vs. Jason. So I like that little connective tissue between a crossover movie that is part of the franchise and this movie. It's definitely a lot more fun than the original, but here's my thing. Is it as scary? I don't think so. I prefer to try to not want to sleep at night than rather just, okay, let's just have a bunch of cool kids who are awesome, by the way. Kincaid, Joey, Kristen, awesome. They're great. But for me, I'm more scared and terrified of the fact that Freddy Krueger is only pops up at certain points in the original one, and he feels more terrifying. He doesn't feel like he's a joke. Like he's not as quippy in the original one. I guess that's why I prefer the original over this one. Also, there's one thing I don't like about this movie. The end, right before Nancy dies. They think they got rid of Freddy Krueger, and then her father and Dr. Gordon go to this junkyard where Freddy's bones are supposedly buried. Her father gets impaled, so he's dead. But he appears as an apparition to Nancy right after they defeat Freddy Krueger. Or at least they think they defeat Freddy Krueger. If I were her and I saw that, I would immediately second guess that. She immediately runs to her father as if it's really her father. She should have known. I feel like she would have the instinct to second guess that and be like, is this really my father, or is this Freddy toying with my mind? Find out it's Freddy, and that's how Nancy dies. That's another thing. There's quite a big emotional heft with this movie. When Nancy dies, it is actually heartbreaking. I just wish that she was a bit smarter in trying to realize that that wasn't her father, that was Freddy Krueger. That is my one issue with this movie. You could tell that the idea of the first one was expanded. They brought Wes Craven back, they brought Heather Langenkamp back. You could tell that they wanted to make an actual true sequel to the original Nightmare on Elm Street movie, rather than a possession movie that the second one was, where that was okay, but like it is definitely lore breaking. This one expands the lore a lot, and it has a more fun Freddy. It has some of the best kills of the entire franchise. It's definitely the most fun of the Nightmare on Elm Streets. I just prefer the original, but I will never ever forget that this movie introduced me to Dokken and one of the greatest songs in horror movie history ever, in Dream Warriors. And that music video is amazing. I'm going to give Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors an A-. This is a really good movie. I'm glad Wes Craven was involved in this. Wish he directed it, because I don't think it's as well directed as the first one, but I can let that fly. There's just that one moment in the script, that lapse of character judgment by Nancy, that I think brings a slight moment of this movie down after what we saw with her in the first one. But this is by far the best of the Elm Street sequels. Next year for the Halloween Spooktacular, we'll talk about Nightmare on Elm Street 4, because I think that this is actually, next to Scream, probably my favorite slasher franchise, and one of the more consistent ones. So if you guys have seen Dream Warriors, let me know. Is it better than the original in your opinion, or do you prefer the original to this one? Let me know in the comments below. I'll leave a link to my website in the description below as well. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I'll see you at the movies somewhere.